Hi, everybody. It's Wanda Baader here from Strategize Your Success. I am an online marketing expert, coach, and consultant, and I have a boutique marketing agency here in Tucson, Arizona. So welcome to our show. We're going to be talking about getting the mojo back into your mindset because, you know, we all fall into those little rabbit holes on occasion. And so we want to encourage you. We're here to help you out. We want to get you back on track if that's the case. And if you're not, that's fine too, because we can always have this as a part of our toolkit when we do have those days, and we all have them. And I want to introduce my lovely co-host, Shan. Please tell everybody about yourself.
Oh, thank you for having me, first of all, Wanda. This is such a delight. I'm so excited to be on my first Blab, and we love props, you guys. So my name is Shan White. I am the owner of Women's Peak Performance Coaching. I work with women exclusively that are working through transitions in life, whether they be professionally or personally, such as career changes, divorce recovery, things like that. And it's been my passion to do it. And I just recently took on a couple more clients, and I just love it. So today we're going to be talking about mindset, because whether it's in the business world or in your personal life, the psychology of mindset is so hugely important. And especially today in working with, we're going to put this in the context of more business. And so if you are starting a business, taking your business to the next level, or just trying to maintain and keep your business on track, mastering psychology is absolutely critical. And today's mastermind or mindset gurus deal with those things in the area of thoughts and behaviors and actions, all extremely critical and important. But what most don't address are those things because your thought life and your mindset and your actions and your behaviors, those are all the tip of the iceberg. They're on the conscious level, whereas our deep-seated beliefs reside in our subconscious level. And so today we're going to take a more holistic approach on mindsets that deal with both the conscious level and the subconscious level, because if those aren't handshaking, if you will, if those aren't congruent, then you're going to find yourself having a lot of actions with little results. So that's what we're here to do today, is to help you develop a supreme level of mindset. What do you think about that, Wanda?
I think it's awesome. And I tell you, even though it's not my area of expertise, I do have a degree in psychology, and I wholeheartedly believe that people really kind of mess themselves up. You know, it's like they're putting all that negative garbage sometimes into their heads, and, you know, believing that they have limitations, and setting up, you know, expectations that are either, you know, unobtainable, or sometimes they do the opposite and they make up expectations that are just like very small. And, you know, you've got to find that happy point to make sure that you're living a fulfilled life. I wholeheartedly believe in that. And if you've just joined the show, what we're talking about is getting the mojo back into your mindset, because sometimes we all have a tendency to kind of be our worst enemy, and with self-doubt and negative feedback into our own brain. So we're trying to help people get back on track with that. And if you're joining us for the replay, we also appreciate you. We do have a few people on live with us, and if anybody would love to jump into an open seat and join the conversation, we would love to have you on, because that's what it's about. Let's just talk about this and see, you know, where's your experience with it and what your beliefs are and how your mindset can just really rule you.
Absolutely.
So go. So Shan, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about, I know that you have 4 steps that you usually coach people through their mindset with. And can you tell our audience exactly, like how does that process work and what does it look like?
Well, and I actually added on a bonus of a 5th one today. So I've expanded and developed the material. And yes, you're right. It was but for this Blab group, we added 1 more. And I love what Wanda said. Those of you that are on the line, we love your applause, but more importantly, we also love your interaction. So whether you feel comfortable with jumping online, we would love to have you. If you want to make comments along the way or ask questions, this whole platform is purposed with lots of interaction. So the more that you chat and talk with us, and with each point I'll be asking for comments or what's been your experience or your challenge area in that particular point. So please, we just would love to hear from you either in person or through the chat box. So with that, Wanda, the first, number 1, is going to sound, I think, a little bit unusual for some of us, and that is the art of allowing or receiving. It is a mindset that most do not consider. This is a technique that sets an intention, a specific mindset intention to be open to all of the goodness and the abundance that God or the universe, if you prefer, wants to bestow on us. And if it's coupled with a childlike expectation and anticipation, like on Christmas morning, then that is that sense of allowing. And I don't know about you, and I'd like to hear back from you. Can you feel the difference between when you're in that state of just open and receiving and just allowing? It's kind of just a free-flowing type of sense, as opposed to, I think we all know what it feels like. I know I do, to be closed off and shut down. For me, it's almost kind of like a wall of protection, like a defensiveness. I'm always on guard. And I think that those senses are diametrically opposed. And what we want to do is start out, and again, the context is business today. So when it comes to your business, when it comes to your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations for your business, if you start out with that open, receiving sense of allowing the goodness, the inspiration, the direction to come to you, that is a wonderful foundation to start with. Wanda, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, actually, I want to go ahead and welcome Jeremy. Jeremy just joined the conversation, and we're talking about getting the mojo back into your mindset here with Shan White. And Arlene just actually put in a comment. She said, women and feminism started doing the kind of things like opening the door for ourselves and other little things. It creates such an energetic block, which that's an interesting comment there, Arlene. And I have to put my peepers on to see well on the stream there, guys.
I got the same.
So what do you think of that one, Shan?
So read the portion to me about the part I didn't understand is what was causing an energetic block as it related to feminism. She says it started doing the kind of things like opening the door for ourselves and other little things. But I think she says it also has a tendency to create an energetic block. And, you know, as it's like a double-edged sword, I guess that's what she's saying. Our ability to be successful is related to our ability to receive. Ah, very good. And
Yes,
then
I
Arlene,
was going to say I get where she's coming from on that.
okay. Well, because I'm not clear on how it could become an energetic block, but so Arlene, if you can maybe clarify that, that would be great. In the meantime, Wanda, what's your understanding of the two-edged sword?
Well, I think that she said, bringing feminism into things has opened up opportunities for us, but we also have to be able to receive those opportunities, because sometimes I think we can have a tendency to block ourselves from obtaining them. It's like maybe our belief systems aren't quite there, that, I've gotten the ability to maybe play on this playground with everybody on the same level, but I'm still thinking that I'm not where I need to be in order to get, to play in that playground the right way. Am I hearing you right on that? Let's see what Arlene says here.
Oh, good,
when we have opportunities to receive and we don't do other things, it can stop other things from flowing to us. She says, I use feminism just as an example.
Okay, great. And well, first of all, Arlene, thank you so much for your comments. And I agree with you. We can be in a state of receiving, and yet at the same time be on guard. And to tell you the truth, and this is a totally different subject, so I'll only just touch on it, but actually because I've written on femininity, the core femininity, because the core, first of all, femininity doesn't have anything to do with how you wear your hair or your makeup or your clothes. The core femininity is a true sense of vulnerability and openness and the ability to receive all that's coming in. And to tell you the truth, the sense of blocking and putting up walls is actually much more of a male trait. And I think that in the especially in the beginnings of the femininity movement, it actually took on a great deal of masculine traits in terms of, I'm tough and I can do it all and I don't need anybody. And I don't mean to stereotype, because there was other beautiful elements of the femininity movement. But I do believe that that is a part of being aware of that guardedness, because that is never going to get us anywhere. And I also believe that we can be completely successful as a fully feminine woman and still be a superstar in the arena of business. Wanda, what do you think about that?
Absolutely. And I think we lost all the guys that were joining us. I think that they thought we were going to go through maybe talking about feminism. And honestly, mindset affects everybody. It's not just a woman's issue. It's definitely also a masculine issue. And but we're just using that as an example, obviously. And, again, we can be our own worst enemy, unfortunately, no matter who we are. And we have our self-doubts, and we have our tendencies to compare ourselves to other people, maybe that, are doing things similar to what we're doing. And we feel like, oh, well, they're in this spot, so I need to also be in this spot. But then we all forget that, we are created to be different. We have different backgrounds, we have different experiences, we have different personalities. And, we have to embrace that and not constantly do that whole comparison mindset, whether, well, guys are doing this or women are doing this. I've had a couple of guys go, well, you women are taking over the world. And I think we're just coming into our own in reality, is that, we're finally getting to a point where we can accept ourselves as people that have to do a multitude of different things, just like, like guys do. So I think that we just all individually receive things in a different way, and it can be on a different day that we receive it in a different way. Today's attitude, it will be different from tomorrow's attitude, and it all affects our mindset.
Well, and just to men, if there's anybody on here, hold on, and other men, come on back if you can. Just to balance it out, we actually all have feminine and masculine traits. And when a man is in his full masculinity, those are beautiful and wonderful traits. Mm-hmm. And women for the same, when they are flowing in their femininity, it is a beautiful thing. And yet each of us have feminine and masculine traits within us, and it just depends which is dominant. It's like a two-sided coin. We can't do without either or, and that's why we complement each other so well, because we all know that men and women's brains literally are wired differently, and so to be able to have both succeed and prosper is our vision for everybody here on this platform and in the world. So I hope that helps round out, where we're going with this. Again, the femininity was just, a case in point, but we need them both.
And Arlene's saying, oops, sorry. No worries, Arlene.
No worries. Hey, and that's what this is all about, is to be able to have opportunities to discuss.
Yes. And you know what? It's all in what you want to receive today. So it's like maybe we weren't hitting the mark there for somebody, but that's all good, because there is going to be a replay. So people will also be able to catch the replay on this. And we have to use examples, real world examples, whenever we do these things, because it really helps us to identify. And so let's talk about, so we've talked about allowing and receiving things. So the next point that you had mentioned to me that you were going to talk about is believe it.
Yes. So we started out with allowing it. It starts out with a mindset of being open. Secondly is believe it. And that is such a core. Now we're still on the subconscious level in terms of our belief systems. So believing and trusting that you will receive your vision for your business, for your marketing plan, for what you want to create. You can't simply just have a state of allowing, but it must be coupled. Think of this as a hierarchical foundation that we're building on. So you've got your allowing it, and now we're building on that, and we're adding to it belief. This actually requires not only a core foundation of belief and trust. For those of you that are in business now and growing that business, you would not have started it unless you had a extremely strong faith and trust and belief in what you were doing was something that you, I hope, felt passionate about, but that also you had a trust that it was going to provide a service or a product that was going to serve at least a target market or the public at large. And so belief is something that again it's a deep-seated belief about who we are, what we're about, and what we're capable of. And so in this case, I would like to bring up the fact that that requires sometimes addressing our old tapes, And this is a great time to interact or come on with us as a, as a guest, because our old tapes are rampant. They could be anything from the typical stereotypical ones are, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty or handsome enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not educated enough, I don't know enough about networking, I don't know enough about public relations. A great Blab recently, by the way, that Wanda did. I'm too skinny, too fat, too short, too whatever. And so from a young age, and we start forming these beliefs starting at the age of 3 and 4, and that they are actually beginning to seal, believe it or not, at the age between 8 and 10 years old. We've already developed a solid belief system about ourselves, who we are, what we're capable of. And of course, that comes also from parents, from teachers, from friends, from schooling, where you continue to get a message. And I'll just start with myself, and like to hear from you and Wanda as well. And that is, I was raised in an environment, primarily with my mother, that I was taught from an early age, not even verbally as much as nonverbal cues, the way in which she interacted with me. And that was, you must perform perfectly. And when you do, and you're a good little girl, you will be rewarded with my love. And when you are not, when you do not behave like that perfect little girl, I will withdraw my love from you. And what that taught me, that took me years to overcome, and it's still, doesn't it? They still creep back. And that what that taught me is that I am not truly accepted for who I am uniquely as a person, and therefore I always have to perform perfectly in order to gain the approval of other people. And that is where I began to get my sense of significance, or my sense of worth. Well, I think we all know that any time that you look externally to determine your worth, whether it's in people, power, prestige, position, we are on shaky ground at the very least. So that was one of my deep-seated beliefs that I have to continually overcome and change that belief system into what would be appropriate for someone that was raised like me. Well, it would be, I am acceptable as is. I have worth innately just for being me, without all of the externals. It is okay to make a mistake. I don't have to fall into perfection paralysis. So what are your thoughts on that? And why we're getting some people writing in, Wanda?
Well, Arlene is saying, apparently you're speaking her song, because she's saying amen. And Arlene's an awesome lady. I wish she could hop in and join on the conversation. But whoever's here, if you would love to join in, we've got 2 available seats to kind of give us your feedback. Or if you're camera shy, which I know a lot of people are, you can feel free to, Arlene's like, next time. You betcha, I'm going to hold you to it. But if you're camera shy, we understand. Just do /Q if you have a question. That will prompt the question into the stream over here, and I'll be keeping an eye out while Shan's talking her talk. But no, I get it. I was very fortunate, I guess, because my mom and dad, they actually separated when I was very young. So my impressionable, you said between 3 and 8, or maybe 3 and 9 years old, was that I was brought up by a single mom who was very empowered. So for me, it's like I was extremely independent. It's like my grandma was part of my life, and she was a very cool character to be around. But I guess that kind of laid the ground for I guess I have a certain amount of fierceness because of it. I'm willing to give something a try and see if it works. You know, I'm not afraid that way.
Oh, I love that. That is just so awesome.
So,
I
was going to say, I want to keep our conversation rolling because we've only gotten through 2 points, and we have actually 5 to all together. So let's talk about what you say when you say think on it.
Okay, good. So we started out with allowing it. Secondly, believe it. And then number 3 is think it. And thinking, now we're coming from the belief system. Now, remember, a belief system is more on a subconscious level, and now we're bubbling up to the conscious level where we have conscious thoughts. So there are 2 types of thoughts, generally speaking. I mean, you have miscellaneous thoughts and things like that. What should I do for dinner? But typically, you have either disempowering thoughts or empowering thoughts. So a good example of that, especially set in the business context, would be a disempowering thought might be things like, and come on, admit it, folks, we all have these, oh, that, that marketing plan that I just had went in the crapper, and I lost another assistant. This just stinks, and I'm never going to get to push to that next level, and I'm never going to get to be everything that I want to be, and I suck as a business person, or I suck as an accountant, or whatever the case may be. We all have these thoughts, and where are they coming from? Our belief system, and they are bubbling up into our thought life. So for example, and it's going to be human and natural to have these kinds of thoughts. What's key here that I want you to take away today is that when I have those disempowering thoughts, those thoughts that make me feel or believe less than, is to catch them. And actually in another mindset conversation that Wanda and I and Cynthia, a lot of great people had, was it's really important to audit those thoughts, because when you can catch a thought like that, number 1, don't judge it. Don't condemn yourself for it and get down into the muck and the mire, but simply consider, how could I take that disempowering thought and turn it into create an empowering thought, replace it with an empowering thought. For example, you might say something like, I am frustrated right now. Start with the truth. Start with how you really are feeling. And then say, I am frustrated right now, but you know what? I am able to deal with this frustration that's going on in my business right now. And I am not going to allow it to derail me. Another point that we talked in another talk about mindset was the fact that those thoughts need to be replaced, old ones with good ones, and the fact that the key question we often ask ourselves is if I can work through this problem, if I can overcome this accounting snafu. And if you could consider replacing that with the word how do I overcome this? How am I able to work through this challenge, this frustration, this problem child? We never have problem children that we deal with, right? None of our customers, our clients, our coworkers, our employees, none of them are problem children, right?
Well,
so, anyway,
and I want to stop you on that for just a second, Shan, because it's like Hillary saying, do you work with a coach? And that was my thought too, is that, you know, whether it's a coach or a mentor, you know, sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that you pay for. It could be somebody that you, that is a mentor to you for free, or a really good friend sometimes can be, you know, a valuable asset in our toolkit too, for, you know, helping us to get over ourselves for that day. You know, sometimes we just have to have somebody go and give, you know, I'm going to give you a positive infusion into your day so that, you know, you get out of this funkiness that you're in, because that's really important too, don't you think?
I do, Wanda. And, you know, you said it so well, because no, you don't have to have a coach. I mean, that's what we do and specialize in. And if that's, you know, what you feel that you need, there are so many awesome coaches out there. But Wanda makes such a valid point, and that is, it could be anybody. It could be a very close friend, a mentor, somebody from your church or your synagogue. As long as it, but make sure that you can find in somebody that you view as someone who is uplifting and encouraging. Because the challenge with, you know, telling negative Nellie is that she's going to maybe have the aversion to kind of suck you down into the mud. Yeah, I got those thoughts too. Yeah, everything sucks. Do you know people like that? Oh my gosh, I knew this one lady from a previous job before I became a coach, where everything was horrible all the time. And so just make sure that you align with somebody that has got a good, strong, positive, uplifting attitude to be able to help lift you up when you're feeling a little bit low.
And, you know, it's, and what Hillary was saying is, she goes, I agree. She was just curious about how the two of us keep up with getting back on track. And, you know, it can be, I do get coached. I am working with somebody, but I also have an awesome circle of friends that are also entrepreneurs, and they get me. You know, obviously there's certain things that you can talk to your spouse or significant other about, or your family members, but they just really, unfortunately, don't always get what we're going through as entrepreneurs and small business owners, especially if they don't work in, you know, doing their own business on a day-to-day basis. But I think that also masterminds are pretty powerful ways of staying connected and keeping things on a positive flow. Because, you know, you always have that accountability factor. And then when you fall into your rabbit holes and then, you know, oh, I can't do this, you know, this is impossible, I can't get this done. You know, the mastermind can bring you back up and foster that positivity back into your mindset of saying, why can't you get this done? What makes you, what if I were to say to you, you can't do this, what would you do? Of course I can do this. You know, yeah. So it's sometimes it's just making sure that the people that you surround yourself with are going to be the positives, and stay away from those negative people that just suck the life out of you and tell you all the reasons you can't do something. And Hillary, we would love to have you in the hot seat. So come on. Yeah, get in here and get in on the conversation. Here she goes.
Come on, Hillary. Yay.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening, Hillary. Where do you hail from?
I hail from about 40 minutes from London in the southeast of England.
Oh, lovely. That's why you have such a beautiful accent. Well, welcome
thank you.
to the conversation. Love to have you here. And thank you so much for giving us some feedback over in our stream there. Obviously, we are on Blab because we love to talk, for one, obviously, but we also love to engage and meet new people. So lovely to have you here. What are you thinking about this conversation? Do you have any input from your experiences?
I have a lot of input. I own a Women in Business magazine, so awesome. I spend a lot of time doing events and things for women in business. I work with a mentor who is A class, absolutely A class. And when I asked you about, do you both work with a coach? My point was about, you know, we all need someone, maybe a bit of accountability. We all need someone that we can reflect and also to bounce ideas off. And, you know, there are great groups that we have over here as well and online. But I think sometimes it's nice if you can just in a black and white conversation talk to someone and say, this isn't working, this is great, this is beep. And that's what I was asking, you know, because obviously I think anyone who's involved in personal and professional development they must be developing and looking after themselves. So I was just being nosy, really, ladies.
Yes, if we're gonna do the talk the talk, we have to do the walk, right? That's the old expression. It's like if you're going to tell people to do something, you need to be doing it yourself. That's for sure.
No, I agree. Well,
Shan,
it's been interesting listening to you guys. It has been interesting. I'm actually hosting a Blab in a little while, so I jumped in the hot seat because I thought I've listened to you now for 20 minutes. I actually swapped devices. I've moved on to the laptop, getting ready for 9 p.m. my time, and I joined you back again because you were interesting, you know. And Blab is something that is really growing, and for those that are at the forefront of it, you know what it's like. You get these people that just go on video and go, hey, you can earn £1 million, you can do this, $1 million, you can do this. Blab wipes out all of that because look, it's 8:30 at night here in the UK. Cheers, there's a glass of wine as I've just had dinner.
A little bit of water.
This is real, you know, this is real stuff. This isn't. So if you follow my processes, you can make a lot of money and do very, very well. That's boring. These people do not last 5 seconds on Blab. So it's been really interesting listening to you guys.
Well, thank you. And stay on with us because Shan's got a couple of other things. So she's talked about allowing it, believing it, and thinking it. And now you're going to talk about say it. What does that mean, Shan?
That's right. And before I do, Hillary, to answer your question directly, and I apologize, I misunderstood the question. I didn't realize you were asking us if we have coaches. And to answer that very briefly, and I know Wanda does too, but yes, I have an accountability coach. And then I work with our other coaches where I have a plethora from my coaching school that I can go to, and I really believe in it. And I'm starting to realize that anybody in a level of leadership really should have some type of a coach, a mentor, somebody to whom they are accountable and also can share those things that they need to share with and where they are struggling. And I also think that it gives us a sense of humility. Yes. I know it does me. So anyway, yes, Wanda, we're going to go to, and thank you, Hillary, for the question. We're going to go right to number 4, and that is say it. And what I mean by that is that it's really important to, it's amazing how this number 4 dovetails into our conversation we just had, because proclaiming it or declaring what you really want out of your vision for your business or the next level that you're taking it to, or perhaps launching a new product or service. It's important to say it out loud, not only to yourself, but to people that have earned the right to hear that. And it's, as I said, this dovetails right into what we're just talking about, surrounding yourself with people with whom you can trust. And I love what Dr. Brene Brown talks about in her book, Daring Greatly, and that is that it is so important to discern who has earned the right to hear your story, whether it be your failures or your challenges or obstacles, or in this context, we're talking about sharing our hopes, our dreams, our visions, our aspirations, our goals for our business, because not everybody in your circle of people that you know has earned that right. Have you ever shared something that is your heart with someone that you realized is the wrong person?
Is that directed at me? No.
Either one of us.
At
Yeah,
anybody.
go ahead, Hillary. How about you?
I do a lot of public and professional speaking. And every time I speak on a stage, I'm speaking from the heart. So that does open you up to potential trolling in a way. But do you know what? I made a business mistake about 9 years ago that it took me a long time to pay off. And I got through that, and now it doesn't matter. And it's really interesting because what I had to go through to get over that as actually I've helped a lot of other people avoid those kind of mistakes. And that's the rewarding thing. And for me as a magazine editor, it provides me with constant content for my content publication. It's a physical magazine. It's one you can that arrives on through your letterbox, through your postbox and stuff. And so, yes, I have done, but I will not stop living my life through my heart, because the moment I stop living my life through my heart, my business will fail, because it's built on authenticity, it's built on fun and productivity. So if I get burned again, we have things in the UK, we call them plasters that you put over a burn or something, like a little bandage for a burn or a cut. Right. I don't know what you call them in the States. And I will just bandage myself up and carry on.
Very good.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Good for you.
And, you know, I love what you said, Hillary, when you said you like to share the mistakes that you made with other people, because I do the same thing. It's like I'm doing online marketing here now for 4.5 years. And I actually had another entrepreneurial business before that kind of led me into it. And it was because they started sharing with my previous clients how I was doing things. And they were like, oh, well, how do you do your marketing? You know, how do you go about doing it? I don't understand. You know, it was like, because a lot of people were still new to social media, for instance, and how to do it the right way. And I went, you know, hey, I've got another business here. And I started working both of them side by side. And then, you know, when the marketing took off, I said, okay, well, this guy's got to be, you know, put to rest, because I just can't do both anymore. But it was my passion for sharing and educating other people as to how to do things and not make the same mistakes that I made. And I still love doing that to this day.
Excellent. Ladies, I do apologize. I'm going to have to leave you, but I'm now following you both. I'm going to get your notification. Shan, I heard earlier it's your first Blab. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing you again. This isn't me ducking out because I've got, you know, I have to go and do something.
No, we know it's late at night by you, so we totally.
Oh, no, I'm hosting a Blab in 15 minutes, so I need to get prepared. But ladies, I'm going to see you again. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining in.
Thank you, Hillary.
Lovely meeting you. And if any of you would like to join in, we have now 2 seats available to join in on this conversation about getting the mojo back into your mindset. And Shan, so we're talking about allowing it, believing it, thinking it, and saying it. So obviously, like a positive affirmation of some sort, you know, saying that you can do this. Talk to yourself in the mirror, whatever it takes, is a form of saying it to yourself, and then hopefully believing and receiving that, right?
That's right. And just to round out the our discussion on saying it to yourself, which is so important, either out loud or internally. But I think the point that I was trying to make in saying it to other people is to make sure that the preciousness of your hopes and dreams are simply shared with those that have earned the right to do so. And so really, and what you guys were saying, which I loved, is sometimes sharing other mistakes that you've made with others has actually been helpful. So just to round out that conversation and to go on to number 5, I think that your input, it helps round it out in that it is important to share, even in a vulnerable state, mistakes that we have made. But the context I'm speaking in is sharing those things that are precious to you about your visions and dreams. And again, you know, in this context, your business. So it really is a discernment on what do I share and with whom. And I think that's something that we all in business need to, you know, be able to discern or to distinguish between those. I'm a believer that when it comes to those things that are deep and precious to you in terms of your personal aspirations and visions, you would be better off to share with those that have already earned your trust, as opposed to sharing with someone that, again, you know, is the negative Nelly. And I think we've all experienced that, where they come in and they just, you know, pile on, you know, a truckload of dirt, you know, onto your spirit, and it's caused you more harm than good. So that was my only point in that. Well, would you like me to go ahead and go on to number 5, or did you have any comments?
No, you're doing a great job. And again, it's, you know, we've had people bouncing in and out of the conversation. I know that there are at least 17 people watching us that are not joining us in the live chat room. And we do appreciate you being there. And also, if you're coming back to watch this as the replay, we appreciate that as well, because we're talking about how to get the mojo back into your mindset, because sometimes we fall into these little rabbit holes that we dig for ourselves. And Shan's sharing with us exactly what we need to do in order to get us back out of that. And I love what you said. It's like we can't let other people's manure, you know, come into our lives and disrupt our mindset. The best thing that we can do is just offer assistance to them when they bring that into, you know, in front of us, I guess you could say, and try to help them to get back into a positive mindset as well, so that they don't stay there, because that's horrible. Who wants to stay in a mindset that's just, you know, obviously like a black cloud following you all the time?
Well said, Wanda. Well said. So we're going to round up with the final mindset, and that is a quick recap. We've talked about allowing it, believing it, thinking it, saying it, and now we're going to talk about do it. Do it is very simple, and that's simply a matter of doing it means walking the talk, actually actioning your vision. Do you know what? You can have a supreme state of allowing. You can have the healthiest, positive attitudes and belief system. You can have the almost perfect, because none of us are perfect, thought life. You can proclaim the right things to the right people. But let me tell you, if you do not add actions to that vision, you will get not very far, if far at all. So when I say actioning your vision, whether it is, again, starting a business, building a business, growing a business, taking it to the next level, whatever the case may be, if you don't have action steps that go with what you're allowing and believing and thinking and saying, you're going to get nowhere.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts about that, Wanda?
Yeah, and you know, I'm not the type of person that says, oh, okay, just because you say it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Obviously, that's not reality. Again, we're talking about realistic expectations here that we set in our lives. But the thing is that you can talk a big talk, but you have to put some action behind it in order to make it become your reality. And sometimes it doesn't. So then we go back to the drawing board and we start over again, and maybe set up a new expectation, and also a positive mindset, and saying, okay, well, this didn't work out, but if I hadn't tried it, I would have never known. And we all grow from our experiences, right?
Yes. Yes. And you know what? Even the Bible says that, faith without actions is dead. Or another way of saying it is belief without actions or deeds is dead. So those two must be coupled. And of course, we added a few more of our own. But in terms of building that foundation of a really stellar mindset, that action has to be a part of the process. And as Wanda said, it's so true. That doesn't mean that you're not going to stumble and fall and trip and things like that. But you have little to no chance of anything coming to fruition if you're not willing to back it up with those actions.
Well, we've been on for almost an hour, and I do want to honor everybody's time that has been joining us so far. And again, if you're catching the replay, there's a lot of great information here. Please take the time to listen to it, because Shan has shared a lot of her valuable experience in mentoring and coaching people through life changes, and that she shared here with us on this Blab. So if people are trying to reach out to get someone to help them, Shan, I know that you specialize in women that are going through divorce as a life change, but do you also mentor other people besides women in that situation?
I do. And it's so funny, Wanda, because I've had people, women approach me that are going through different types of transitions where they feel that they're stuck in their chosen field of careers, or they want to launch out into another one, and again, still under the umbrella of transitions. And we're making a dramatic success with these ladies. So yes, I do work with women exclusively, because I do have a passion for empowering women and seeing them move forward in any arena in life. And so I am here to help and to serve. That is my mission in life.
Okay, great. And so if there are women out there who are looking for a coach mentor to help them along, how could they reach you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way is they can reach out to me through my website, www.womenspeakperformancecoaching. I know it's a long title. Or you can, I'm on Twitter associated with Blab, and Facebook and LinkedIn and all those. My name is Shan White, or you could Google me. I'm sure it'll come up. And also my email address is shancoaches@comcast.net. And so I would love to be able to help you if you are dealing with a struggle or feel stuck in life. And Wanda, thank you for the opportunity of sharing that information. But most of all, thank you, Wanda, for what you do and who you are, and just allowing me to be a part of it.
Wow,
I feel honored.
I appreciate you letting me bring you through your first Blab. I'm sure that now that you've gotten in here, you're going to get hooked. And I want to make sure, do I have your email right? It's, your web address. It's womenpeakperformancecoaching.com.
Almost right. There's a plural on women.
Okay, women's peak. Okay. Because I'm going to share it here in our stream so that people can find you that way. And of course, you can see that on the replay, I don't know if it's up there or not, but Shan, I'm going to also put in your Twitter handle, which is Women Coach.
Yep.
That's another way that you could reach out to Shan, like she had mentioned before. Well, thank you so much for everybody who's hung in with us for the past hour. I know we covered a lot of terrain, basically, on getting the mojo back into your mindset. And we appreciate you all, and we hope that this information will benefit you somehow. And I'm Wanda Baader from Strategize Your Success, and you can always find me at strategizeyoursuccess.com. And I appreciate your time, and have a great day, everybody, and get that mindset in the right place. We appreciate you. Bye, everybody. Bye, Shan.
Bye.